The special virtual meeting of the Annapolis City Council on Thursday, March 28th, 2022 will be called to order at 6:01. Madam City Clerk or Acting Madam City Clerk, Cindy, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mayor Buckley?
You're on mute.
Alderwoman Tierney?
You're on mute, Cindy.
Mayor Buckley?
Here.
Alderwoman Tierney?
Here.
Alderwoman O'Neill?
Here.
Alderwoman Pendell Charles?
Here.
Alderwoman Finlayson? Alderman Shondelmeyer? Alderman Gay?
Here.
Alderman Savage?
Present.
Alderman Arnett?
Present.
Alderwoman Finlayson, present.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the first item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The first item on the agenda is ID 7122, proposed closed session.
At this time, I would entertain a motion to move pursuant to Annotated Code of Maryland General Provision Article 3-305B10 to go into closed session. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Cindy, can you hear us yet?
Mayor Buckley?
You're on mute still, Cindy.
Mayor Buckley? Alderwoman Tierney?
Aye.
Alderwoman O'Neill? Alderwoman Pendell Charles?
Mr. Mayor, I'd raised my hand for discussion of the closed session.
Sorry, Alderman Savage. So we're still in discussion. I apologize. Didn't see the hand. Alderman Savage.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to get more information because in terms of, the description didn't give us too much information. And I can understand needing a closed session for certain sensitive things if we're talking about specific incidents or solutions for specific communities. But I do think there's a benefit to having a general discussion with the public in terms of, general crime trends or statistics, and also general, what they think might be driving some of those if there are certain increases, and also generalities in terms of what we can do about it. Again, I get the whole specifics, but I feel like that would go a long way. And really, we don't necessarily even need to know all the specifics, but I think the general big picture is what we really get asked about. And I feel like it'd be good to know. So anyway, I'm not sure exactly how this breaks down. Are we going to have like a open part, or is this all going to be closed?
So we haven't advertised it as an open session. So we are open now. So we haven't gone into closed sessions for everyone to understand that. I'm sure Alderman Gay requested this. So I'm sure we can make a plan in the closed session to come up with a public plan. Does that work for some of you all?
I don't have a problem with that, Mr. Mayor. I requested this after obviously the most recent crimes incidents that we had, and then I sent out an email on March the 20th to my colleagues, and it was almost unanimously agreed upon that we should have some sort of meeting, and that's why I came to Regina and then David to get this coordinated.
Thank you. Alderman Arnett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also have been getting a lot of inquiries. There's quite a bit of interest in my community, I think in all communities in the city, about public safety. And so to the extent that we can have an open meeting so all of the public can benefit from the things that we're discussing, I think that would be desired. So I would look to the city attorney for a more full explanation. Are there sensitive things that we're going to be talking about that would not be appropriate for a public hearing? If so, of course, I would support that. But otherwise, I would love to have as much discussion as possible before the public, and particularly if Alderman Gay has no problems with that. That would be my inclination.
Mr. City Attorney?
This was a programmatic request. I don't know what's going to be talked about.
So just for the sake of moving this, let's go into the closed session. We can get out of the closed session with a plan if you guys like. But I think that we would probably need to advertise something if we were going to have a public meeting on public safety. So let's get into this session and then we can move forward from there. Okay. I will continue the vote. I think
you need to start the vote over, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Deputy City Clerk.
Mayor Buckley,
Yes.
Alderwoman Tierney, Alderwoman O'Neill,
Aye.
Alderwoman Pendle Charles,
Aye.
Alderwoman Finlayson, Alderman
Aye.
Alderman Scheldmeyer,
Aye.
Alderman Gay,
Aye.
Alderman Savage,
Aye.
Alderman Arnett.
No.
Okay. So we have a majority ready to go into closed session. We are now in closed session. Am I right? Thank we are now out of the closed session. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next on the agenda.
The agenda is complete, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, could I get a motion to adjourn the special meeting? Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
And the second,
Second.
all those in favor with a show of hands, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. See you back in 5 minutes. Thank you. The virtual special meeting of the Annapolis City Council on Monday, March 28th, 2022 will be called to order at 7:03. Thank you everyone for their patience. At this time, if I don't have Alderman Gay online, I will go to pitch hitter when it comes to invocation. Alderman Arundel Pindell Charles. I know I can always count on you. If you could help us with the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mr. Mayor and my colleagues on the City Council, I will not ask you to bow your head or close your eyes, but to open your eyes wide open to what has been going on in our city, most recently in the past couple of months. The shootings, the uneasiness of our children, our families, and our community. And I ask that we all in our own way pray, get on our knees, talk to neighbors. I want us as an Annapolis United, I want us to love our children, love our neighbors. Peace is here, and stop the violence. Amen.
Amen. Now please all join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That is the last one we have to do on a Zoom call. We are much better in person. Thank you, everybody. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Buckley,
Here.
Alderwoman Tierney,
Here.
Alderwoman O'Neill,
Here.
Alderwoman Pindell Charles,
Here.
Alderwoman Finlayson, Alderman Schandelmeyer,
Aye.
Alderman Gay, Alderman Savage,
Present.
Alderman Arnett.
Present.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the first item on the agenda.
I'm sorry,
Yes, sir.
Mr. City Clerk, I was present. Sorry about that, Mr. City Attorney.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
At this time, I'd entertain a motion to add R22-22. Alderman Arnett.
So moved.
And could I get a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in
Mr. Mayor, what is it that was added? Can you read the title?
the pilot program to study commercial outdoor dining in privately owned parking lots.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Can I take a vote on that? All those in favor, please say aye. Show of hands. Aye. Thank you. Now, can I get a roll call on that, please, Madam City Clerk?
Mayor Buckley,
Aye.
Alderman Savage, Alderman Arnett,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tierney,
Aye.
Alderwoman O'Neill, Alderwoman Pindell Charles,
Aye.
Alderwoman Finlayson, Alderman Schandelmeyer,
Aye.
Alderman Gay.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is City Council citations. One to United States Naval Academy and Bristol Bay Alliance.
Thank you. Julian, can we bring forward Mr. Finian or Stephen Davis or Heather Cheney or Lynn Henderson?
Okay. Yes, I see Heather Cheney. Can you say the other two names, Mr. Mayor?
Stephen Davis, Brian Finnan, and Lynn Henderson.
Hi, good evening. This is Heather Cheney with Bristol.
Thank you. Welcome. First of all, we truly appreciate you and the donation of the boxing equipment from your organization and the U.S. Naval Academy. We love this initiative. I think it's a very needed time for that. So we would like to give you a citation. I have one for all of you, so I'm just going to read from one of the citations if you are ready. And again, on behalf of the city, we truly thank you. So on behalf of the residents of the city of Annapolis, we are pleased to confer upon you this City Council citation in recognition of your work in procuring and donating boxing equipment to the Annapolis Department of Recreation and Parks. In January, with an assist from Bristol Bay Alliance, a Native American corporation, you played an instrumental role in facilitating the donation of sporting goods from the United States Naval Academy. The generous donation and delivery included heavy bags, a boxing ring, backpacks, and dozens of boxing gloves and head protectors. These physical items, as generous as they are, represent the beginning of a strong relationship between the athletics department at the Academy and our youth's sport program with the Department of Recreation and Parks and the Annapolis Police Foundation. We are grateful for your help, hard work, and support. A big thank you from the city of Annapolis. If any of you got to witness Archie Trader's Rumble in Truxton Park, or whatever he called it, it was a great event at Pitmoyer Rec Center. Archie was in his element. We think this is an amazing thing. So a big thank you. And if anyone would like to say a few words, please come forward. Can I just let Alderman Pindell, Charles, just say a couple of words before we go to you guys? Thank you.
Just a couple, Mr. Mayor. I just happened to be at Pitmoyer on the day that the items were delivered, and everybody was extremely pleased. And I did attend the boxing match, and it was very well done, very well attended, and looking forward to more. But thank you all so much for your extremely generous offer to our city, and we look forward to more Annapolis United projects and programming that can be definitely a part of this. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. And Alderman Shannon, I would like to.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, I also attended the boxing match, the Rumble by the Bay, it was called, and it was such a fantastic event. It was great seeing people come from all around, like not just Maryland, but from Northern Virginia as well, and I think some folks from Pennsylvania. And just seeing these kids do a sport that gives them a lot of passion, a lot of exercise, and a lot of discipline. And so thank you all for helping us conduct that.
Thank you. And anyone like to say a few words?
I'll start as being the project manager for Bristol on the Naval Academy project, where we had the opportunity to work on the transition project where they're renovating the athletic compound. Steve Davis and Lynn Henderson were our site team that are owed all the credit for their coordination and thinking outside the box. You know, a lot of these materials and athletic equipment were slated to be disposed of. There wasn't really any discussion at the time of them being able to be reutilized. And Steve and Lynn stood up and said, you know what, there's gotta be a program that's in here for kids or for the youth in this city that, you know, will really give them the opportunity to be able to utilize this equipment. Because although it may not be up to NCAA standards anymore, it definitely can benefit the youth in that city. So Lynn and Steve, thank you for thinking outside the box and being generous in what y'all tried to do. And I think, like I said, all the credit goes to those guys for really stepping up and making that happen.
Thank you, Heather.
And I would like to circle back around with you because I have a dream of a police boxing brigade facility and an enhancement to one of our rec centers. I'm sure you guys have got some great ideas on that front. So I will be reaching out to you soon to brainstorm if that is okay.
I'd like to jump in for a second. Sure. One of the things that you all have literally at this very moment, I talked to the boxing coach at Naval Academy. The guy is literally a legend. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was in Philadelphia, worked at the Joe Frazier Center. So I talked to him about what you guys are doing, or excuse me, what you all are doing. And he said that he's willing to stay, he's retiring. And he said he's willing to step up. He loves the idea of it. And I would say time's of the essence. You've got you got a Jim McNally, and he's literally a legend in boxing. And you could take your Annapolis program and it'd be at the pinnacle immediately. So I can help you facilitate that and get that going. But Jim's ready to step up, and he in the boxing world he's a legend, and you've got him. He's ready to go. So I would urge you to take advantage of that.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Stu. Well, it's a big round of applause for everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. I don't see any. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. City Council citation, Rear Admiral Guy H.B. Schaefer, USN, retired.
Thank you. Obviously, a friend to this city, Rear Admiral Guy has some health issues. Alderman Savage, if you want to say a few words before I do the citation. I'm not sure if he's able to join us.
Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to, I guess, start off, I want to thank Mitchell for getting this together so quickly. And believe it or not, at 95 years old, Admiral Schaefer has started to finally slow down, just a bit though. But he's been an incredible mentor of mine and just a very powerful voice for not only Ward 7, but really the entire city. I was contacted by Bo Bollinger with CRAB, and he said Admiral Schaefer's been volunteering with them since 2012. He got the ball rolling really on the whole Cars Beach, which we ended up being able to succeed with purchasing that property. And he really, and not just him, but the rest of the Baywoods board, but he was really a leading voice in that, and has worked with the Maritime Museum at Moyer Park. So in any case, if everybody could just keep him in our thoughts, and I just thought it'd be good to express our gratitude for his amazing contributions.
Thank you. So, Alderman Pendell Charles.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Admiral Schaefer also served on our Eastport Forest Drive task force that Alderman Arnett and I have been involved in. So we definitely thank him for their service on that organization and that task force as well. So God bless him, and all our prayers go out to him as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't see any other hands up. So on behalf of the residents of the city of Annapolis, we are pleased to confer upon you the City Council citation in recognition of your contributions to your nation and community. Your distinguished career began in Annapolis with commissioning from the United States Naval Academy, followed by a career in nuclear submarines. Among other positions, you were Deputy Director of Trident Missile Defense Development and Director of Operations at the Defense Nuclear Agency. Retiring after 30 years as a 2-star admiral, you had a second career as Director of Research and Chief Engineer at the Martin Marietta Naval System Company. Back at your Annapolis home, you served on both the corporate and local Baywoods boards of directors. You've been a vocal advocate for your Baywoods community and your Ward 7 community. You've been a key voice for the protection of Cars Beach, finding an Annapolis home for Chesapeake Region accessible boating, CRAB, and Annapolis Maritime Museum's Moyer Park campus. We thank you for your service to the nation and to the community. We all thank you for your friendship, and we thank you for making this city a much better place. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Sir, the next item on the agenda is City Council citation, Historic Annapolis Museum.
Thank you. If you could bring forward Tim Leahy and Karen Brown.
Mr. Mayor, it looks like Tim is not here, but I believe the headmaster is.
All right, I see Karen there. How you doing, Karen? Great to see you. Thank you. Well, we want to thank you for all your work. And I'm just going to launch straight into it. So on behalf of the residents of the City of Annapolis, we are pleased to confer upon you this City Council citation in recognition of your work to preserve the history of our city. In your most recent exhibit, Annapolis, An American Story, which was really well attended, your historians and curators, as well as partner organizations, have begun to tell a wider and broader history of Annapolis. This collaboration is an innovative way of including more voices and making our history more approachable. The exhibit opens the door on a broad array of storytelling narratives because Annapolis history continued beyond the colonial period to include voting rights for women, civil rights for people of color, innovation in music and fine arts, maritime history, military history, and much more. We hope the community comes out to enjoy the curated piece in the exhibits at 99 Main Street and then visits partner sites to take a deeper dive into Annapolis's history. We are a city with amazing stories to tell, and we thank you for the care you are taking in making these stories available to all of Annapolis. It is well worth the visit. Please come to 99 Main Street. I see my friend Robert Clerk on the call as well. I'm sure he might have a few nice words to say. And then Karen, if you'd like to follow up, or we've got you on mute.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. A number of you were there last Saturday as we launched our grand opening. And we see this as a community asset, as you just said so eloquently. And it took us 7 years and 1.6 million to tell a history of our entire community. And we're very proud of that. And I encourage all of you to spend time with Alderwoman Rhonda Pindell-Charles, who decided to budget us 1 hour and stayed 3. So I think that's quite an endorsement, and I would welcome all of you to come do that. We're very proud of this exhibit, and it is a study of the history of Annapolis, but for all of us in the city. Karen, to add?
I just want to reiterate what Robert said, that we are so proud of our work with the city, and we are so grateful for your continual and ongoing support. I'm speaking on behalf of all of my colleagues at HA that are immensely grateful for this partnership. And if there's any opportunity you would like to come over and see the exhibit, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll arrange a private tour with our curator. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for providing us with that great anchor for the base of Main Street.
Mr. Mayor, if I could.
Alderman Gay.
I have a question for, is the carriage that you have from the governor, is that in the museum? That unique carriage that you showed me, it was like, I think they actually left it here during war or something like that. It's a cool story.
The sedan chair.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, the sedan chair is there for everybody to see, as well as the acorn that was put on top of the State House in the 1700s when they built the State House. So yes, that and 200 other objects are all there to try to tell the story of our history of our city.
That's awesome. That's exciting. Thank you all so much.
And we will be using that sedan chair to move Robert Clerk around the city between meetings. If any of you guys want to come out and see that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I accept.
You can sell tickets.
It's a lot of fun. Thank you so much, everybody.
Do I hear fundraiser?
Yes.
Thank you all. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is City Council citation to retired Annapolis firefighters.
Okay, these are our heroes. We want to congratulate our firefighters for their service and for their retirement from the fire department. We have Battalion Chief Robert F. Christian, Battalion Chief Gregory J. Young, Captain R. Scott Svoboda, Lieutenant M. Tina Pittner, and the wife of Lieutenant Josh Snyder, Sarah Snyder, firefighter First Class Lawrence E. Harrison, firefighter Ryan Jetton, and firefighter Charles F. Townsend. Not everybody can attend, but there are some people here. Please come forward, and I will let the chief speak before I issue the citation. Chief Romali.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. These retirees have all retired over the last 2.5 years. Unfortunately, with COVID, we weren't able to do any formal ceremony for them. They did receive their retirement badges and other things from the department, but last weekend, the International Association of Firefighters, Annapolis Professional Firefighters Local 1926 recognized all of them in a retirement ceremony. It was a very nice ceremony. It was attended by over 140 people, so I congratulate them for that. But everyone on this list, if you add up all their years of service, had more than 160 years of dedicated service to public safety and the citizens of Annapolis. So I commend them for that. I had the opportunity to work with each and every one of them. I thank them for their service. I thank their families for sharing them with us. We know that we put the families through as much stress as we put our employees through. When our employees go to work every day, sometimes their families don't know what they're going to run into and what kind of issues may happen, and even maybe not returning. Unfortunately, right after taking over as chief, we lost Lieutenant Snyder. I believe his wife is here with us. He was a very dedicated lieutenant in our department. We lost him to cancer. And as all the council knows, that I am big on the firefighter safety and the cancer initiative we have out there. So we want to continue to push that initiative. We know the cancer in the fire service is unfortunately a prevalent thing, and it's moving forward. So we lost Lieutenant Snyder there, well too young. He left behind his wife and some kids, and he left along his family in the fire service. But each one of these individuals spent a lot of time for us, protecting the citizens of Annapolis and also Anne Arundel County. So I thank them for their service.
Well, a huge thank you. We know the sort of stuff that you have to see and that you protect us from. So on behalf of the residents of the city of Annapolis, we're pleased to confer upon you all the City Council citation in recognition for your duty as members of the Annapolis Fire Department. Congratulations on your retirement. We thank you for your bravery and your service and the service you provide for the Annapolis community. During your time in our city, you answered the call to service at different fire stations, conducted firefighter operations and rescues, helped residents with medical and health emergencies at some of the most vulnerable times in their lives, wrote numerous reports, survived too many equipment inspections to count. You prepared meals at stations and became mentors and leaders and friends to your colleagues in the Annapolis Fire Department. For your 25 years of service to our community, we celebrate you and we wish you every success. And we thank you and we thank your families. And if anyone wants to step forward and say a couple of words, we'd love to hear from you and thank you again. I know you don't like the limelight, not like the politicians. Okay. All right. Well, again, we thank you all. Alderman Pendell Charles.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just like to thank those firefighters who have retired and as they go into their next career and responsibilities, we wish them Godspeed and all the best, as well as for them and their families. And thank you so much, Chief and Deputy Chief.
Let's have another round of applause. Thank you. Alderman Schandelmeyer, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, thought I missed the boat there. I had the honor of celebrating with these guys last Saturday at the retirement party, and spoke with Alderwoman Finlayson, and we really wanted to make sure the city recognized their hard work and all that they've done in keeping us a safer place. So guys, thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you all. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item is petitions, reports, and communications, beginning with update from the mayor.
Thank you. Good evening. Tonight is our last virtual meeting of this state of emergency. Our next gathering on April 11th will be introducing our budget and presenting the state of the city, and it will be in person. That deserves a round of applause. I'd like to invite the council members and others to celebrate some new displays outside the mayor's office. One on Cars Beach, which was paid for by the residents of the Bay Woods in Ward 1. We'll share some sparkling cider, and you can read and enjoy these pieces of storytelling right outside council chambers before our in-person meeting on April 11th. The other display is for the City Dock and Hillman project, which we just got notice that the governor has put $8.8 million in the budget, in the supplemental budget for City Dock. That's another round of applause right there. I want to thank the state for that. Senator Elfreth, thank you, and Governor, thank you. So the public is invited to see these displays at any time, and we will post them in our city social media pages so the public can enjoy them virtually. And I hope you all saw the pictures and the capital story about Cars Beach and the beaches. It will be a wonderful addition for the city to recognize this history and provide water access and beach experiences into the future. I can definitely see some room for a Ferris wheel out there. Just kidding, just kidding. I thank our partners who made this happen, and we also thank the county and state for moving quickly to purchase the property. Thank you. And speaking of Hillman construction, on the rebuild of our downtown garage, we will begin April 4th with a survey work, signage, fencing, and other items that need to be done, but for which we don't need to have to completely close the garage. Again, the construction process is beginning, but parking will still be permitted at least through the end of the General Assembly session. As soon as we know a closure date, we will post that on the garage and push it out through our city's pages and on social media. AMRP, our vendor, is conducting the demo work with an eye towards minimal disruption to neighbors. So it will really be more of a dismantling of the garage. I'm afraid there's going to be no dynamite or blow-up session, but it'll slowly be taken apart piece by piece. But it still will be a sight to see. At the Historic Annapolis Museum ribbon cutting, a plaque was installed at the Green Street side of the museum. The plaque is in honor of the late Anne St. Clair Wright, who championed the preservation movement in Annapolis. The plaque was the first of two bequests in the late Ward 1 Alderman Dick Israel's will. Alderman Ellie Tyranny would like to thank John Tower with HPC and Karen Brown with HA and Marcy Taylor Toma with the Heritage Commission for working on this the last several years. The city recently kicked off Choice Neighbourhood Planning Grant to process to revitalise Eastport Terrace and Harbour House. This is a process wherein the city and the Housing Authority work together with residents, community, businesses and other stakeholders to come up with a plan to submit to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. If the plan we submit is good enough with HUD, we could receive up to $30 million implementing funding from the federal coffers. This is our goal. This will be a huge investment for our community. We now We know we are looking forward to this process, and we're looking forward to hearing from everybody. Please note, this is a 2-year process, and we're in the first days. Stay tuned to this process and for the city and Hacker to reach out for your input. I would also like to thank Chief Jackson and Alderman Pendell Charles for the recent Facebook Live event and the ongoing programming related not only to the criminal justice side of public safety, the policing part, but also backing that up with community and non-profit support and support from city departments, including recreation parks, programming, and more. This Saturday is the MLK Parade and Festival Parade. It starts at Amos Garrett Boulevard and proceeds to City Dock. 1,000 people are expected to be in the parade. The festival starts at 1 p.m. at City Dock and includes music, vendors, arts and crafts, and the world famous EU band and Sugar Bear until 7 p.m. The Mayor's Office has an ongoing work, the NAM Youth Prevention Workshop, creating a mental health app, the end of the year report on Take Care initiatives, planning for the Flower Festival in May, working with BGE on a transportation hub at Eastport Terrace and the Harbour House, trash training, Morgan State Smart Cities projects, recreation program planning and assessment, doing boards and commissions and reappointments and more. This weekend starts the Annapolis Film Festival at locations around the city. Little round of applause for the Annapolis Film Festival. Excited to have that back. We look forward to seeing a number of films at all the venues: Maryland Hall, Annapolis Elementary, Asbury United Methodist, Rams Head, the Naval Academy. We welcome them back this weekend, and I'll see you all at the movies. I wanted to say that. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item is reports by committee.
Right, I see Alderman Arnett's hand up.
Find that mute button. Yes, Mr. Mayor, the audit committee has survived new leadership, and we are starting to gather our new way, new direction. I do want to make mention that we said goodbye to audit committee member Katie George, who is returning to Texas, but was a very valuable and contributing member to the audit committee, and of course was herself an auditor. New territory, we voted at the last meeting to work on and devote money to an update of the city's strategic plan, which was last updated in 2012. It occurs to the committee that linking a strategic plan to performance measures is a very good thing, and I'm really looking forward to that effort. I think our strategic plan was a good plan and really will be a service not only to the running of the city, but to us as council members, giving us guidance, and also to let all of our constituents know what we're doing. So that will be work ongoing.
Thank you. Alderman Tierney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 16 days till budget time, but who's counting? The Finance Committee, I might be off a day or two on that. The Finance Committee met March 16th. We reviewed Fund Transfer 5-22, Supplementary Appropriations 15-22 and 19-22. Two of them involved transferring of money and a supplemental allocation for, gee, guess what? Fuel. Another reason why we should go to an electric transportation system. But seriously, these transfers were needed because of the added cost of fuel and the economy. The next meeting is Wednesday, April 6th at 10:30 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. We go down the line here that I have in front of me. Alderman Schandelmeyer next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Economic Matters Committee met recently, and we went over the potential economic gardening pilot program. We are working slightly closer to that. I've had some meetings with some of my colleagues and briefed some of my colleagues, including a meeting with Alderman Arnett. And we are looking like we may be able to implement a one-time expense to launch a pilot of $21,450 to help our city's stage 2 companies expand their market share. So we will keep you all posted for that. And I'm really excited to say we might actually be able to implement the program before the new budget.
And Alderman Chandlemeyer, if I could interrupt your presentation, tomorrow I'm going to be setting up a Zoom meeting with Christian Gibbons, who is the person that is the father of this, and be happy to invite any other council members. This is actually a pretty exciting program, and he's a great resource. So I can send anyone who would like to get it an invite to that Zoom meeting when we get into more discussion with Mr. Gibbons.
It's really exciting, actually. Alderman Arnett's holding the book he released that you can download for free from the Center for Economic Gardening. This is a program that I'm really excited about because, again, we can try to grow our stage 2 companies here in the city to make us a little more economically sustainable locally.
Thank you. Alderman Gay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Really quick, when you made the Ferris wheel joke, all I could think of was Will. I know these residents were going crazy.
The wheel, Bill, the wheel.
No, but the Housing and Human Welfare Committee, we met last week, 3/21/22. We had the presentation, or continued presentation, from the No Harm VIP program, and they kind of laid out what exactly has been happening with the program. As we discussed previously, they kind of have not been operating since July due to some budget issues, but we hope to fix that soon. And then we also talked about R1322 and had detailed discussion on possible recommendations, or maybe even an additional resolution as it relates to follow up with the consent decree and process of the HACA redevelopment. And so that was it. We won't meet again until April. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Pindell Charles.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. As you all will recall, I gave a State of Annapolis public safety address at our last council meeting on March 14th. Tonight is an update. As it was intended to do, it sparked a lot of discussion and conversation, and more importantly, action. By way of background, in early March, our Annapolis Recreation and Parks Director, Mr. Archie Trader, prepared a proposal titled The Mayor's Initiative on Recreational Program to Reduce Crime and Juvenile Delinquency in the City. In the meantime, I've sent 4 separate emails to my colleagues, including the Peace March and the Street Corner Ministries Coalition. Back in 2020, September, we were supposed to have a peace march, but as you all know, around the city, on all the neighborhoods, and using Department of Transportation if someone could not walk. But of course, COVID stopped that. But we are in the process of doing that, and that is in your emails as well. As a result of my public safety address, Director Trader contacted me immediately after the council meeting on Monday, March 14th. We communicated about the mayor's proposal. We then contacted our Annapolis Police Department's Chief Edward Jackson on Tuesday. Thereafter, we developed a very comprehensive plan, Annapolis United, Love Our Children, Love Our Neighbors, Peace is Here, Stop the Violence. As you can see, there are 4 components to this plan. The first one incorporates initially our Rec and Parks Department, Love Our Children. And then our next 3 components incorporate our public safety teams, namely Love Our Neighbors, Office of Emergency Management, Peace is Here, Annapolis Fire Department, Stop the Violence, Annapolis Police Department, respectively. This plan was publicly announced on last Thursday, March 24th at Rec and Park Stanton Center, where one of the components of the plan was launched via Facebook Live, namely APD's Annapolis is Most Wanted, which will be a weekly series headed up by our chief and command staff, broadcasted from around our various neighborhoods in the city in different locations. Please check out our city's website for last week's announcement and the hanging of our official and very eye-catching banner. The Mayor's Initiative on Recreational Program is now the Mayor's Initiative on Recreational and Educational Programming, as suggested by our APD, and that every part of this program will also have an educational component, for instance, good sportsmanship, literacy, good character, etc. The beauty and uniqueness of this initiative is that everyone can participate on some level. From a wheelchair-bound or homebound resident placing an Annapolis United bumper sticker on their wheelchair in their window, and resident donating funds towards an event or initiative, and a child wearing a Love Our Children hat, and a teen sporting a Love Our Neighbors t-shirt, and a business hanging a Peace is Here sign outside of their storefront, and a mother wearing a sweatshirt that says Stop the Violence. We want you to look all around and see everywhere the evidence of an Annapolis United. Our theme invites everyone to not only take personal ownership of our problem, but to likewise take personal action to solve our problem. It's our problem, it's our community, it's our children that we must love. It's our neighbors and we must love. Peace is wherever you are. It's a personal mission and commitment, and only love and peace will solve and stop our problem of violence. Annapolis United represents a very collaborative and multidisciplinary approach that addresses these violence and societal problems together. Also, our city's Office of Law has proposed legislation that will address the issue of guns in our city. We're hopeful that this legislation will be introduced in April. Additionally, if you will recall, before we elected our chief, we had 3 to 4 forums in our various communities asking residents what they wanted to see in a new chief, and we received great feedback. So we plan to host Annapolis United community forums using a similar format where we will be asking residents to come on out and to provide us with ideas about how to stop the violence. Each one of our 8 alderpersons can lead their individual awards forum, as well as include their own ideas, feedback, insights, etc. As always, emails and other forms of communication are most certainly welcome. Likewise, our alderpersons will be infusing into Annapolis United components and programming that they would like included, such as Alderman Shandemeyer's tree planting initiative, specifically designed by public and subsidized housing communities, joined by alderpersons O'Neill, Gay, and Savage. Our city has committed $225,000 to this robust Annapolis United plan, and this programming can certainly continue with some degree of regularity, even if when the violence decreases to a significant level. And look out for our Annapolis United theme song by none other than the 1970s hit by Ashford and Simpson, Get Up and Do Something. I was very encouraged today by our closed session, and I took many notes based on the feedback from my colleagues. As the Annapolis City Council's Public Safety Chair, as I see it, my responsibility is to work with our City of Annapolis Police Department. No other police department. It's not my charge to work with other police departments, just Annapolis. As to our Public Safety Standing Committee meetings, again, we had a very robust and enlightening 4 hours with our police department in January, the same with our fire department for 2 hours in February, and the same with our Office of Emergency Management for 2 hours in March. And on March 7th, we took up 0422, aggressive panhandling, and with Alderwoman Tierney's amendment, Alderpersons Gay, O'Neill, and I voted to recommend this legislation favorably to the entire council. Also, the City of Annapolis Office of Emergency Management engages in partnership at every level to safeguard the health and safety of the citizens of Annapolis. Emergency Management has been tasked with securing millions in funding for the historic infrastructure projects at City Dock to mitigate nuisance flooding. Emergency Management is pursuing every available opportunity in this regard. OEM routinely works with officials from the county, state, and federal government to develop and submit grant applications. For example, this month, Emergency Management has worked with the Maryland Department of Emergency Management on technical requirements of a grant application to the Federal Emergency Management Agency. OEM has also collaborated with the U.S. Naval Academy Oceanography Department to interpret and apply the future sea level rise recommended by the Maryland State Commission on Climate Change to Annapolis. The future sea level rise recommendations were then used to estimate future business losses in the absence of an upgrade in infrastructure by applying peer-reviewed literature relating to coastal flooding and sea level rise to economic impacts. Finally, a senior advisor on infrastructure and water management from the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Washington, D.C., contacted our Office of Emergency Management to discuss water management and infrastructure and to share resources. This embassy official toured the Annapolis Emergency Operations Center on March the 22nd, and I had an opportunity to meet her. The Office of OEM will continue to build relationships like those to keep bringing in large grants and to help realize the city's vision of the future. Our next Public Safety Standing Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. We will be taking up R-1522, the Police Accountability Act, for the first hour. And we're looking forward to a presentation by our newest city department, Office of Community Services, for the second hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alderman Finlayson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I think I recall that at Cars Beach, we had a merry-go-round. So maybe not a Ferris wheel, but a merry-go-round.
No, a merry-go-round is a Ferris wheel on its side.
Yes, that's right. That's what made me think of it. So you're not too far off, Mr. Mayor.
Build the wheel.
I actually think it's a cool idea.
I love merry-go-round.
Might not be big enough.
So, you know, you can get a little one. So anyway, Rules Committee will be meeting this Friday, April 1st, no joke, at 1 o'clock. It's a new time for us. And we'll be taking up R1522, which is the Police Accountability Board recommendations. And we'll also entertain a discussion on historic preservation furniture guidelines. So it is still a virtual meeting and all are invited to attend. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see anybody else's hand up. Alderman Gay again.
Mayor, just quickly, Alderman Finlayson, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Alderman Savage, they completed the amendments, correct? For the PAB?
County Council, yes.
Yeah, it hasn't had a final vote, and I think there's still potential for more amendments. That's what I heard.
Okay, awesome.
Well, I would hope that their amendments are similar to what's in your legislation, but we'll have to check that out to see. I know I think Councilman Rodvian and Lacey had similar amendments, I believe, but I'll find out before our discussion on Friday.
Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item is comments by the general public.
So during comments by the general public, the public may not speak on items scheduled for a public hearing this evening. When providing audio testimony, you will only be allowed 3 minutes to speak. Legislation scheduled for public hearing tonight is O-12-22 special events, R-15-22, and Arundel County Coalition for Police Accountability recommendations. The audio live testimony submittal is due by 3 p.m. That's the deadline. The City Council public comments web form submitted on writing through the online forum is automatically sent to members of the City Council and can be viewed on the city's website on the public testimony page. So I would like to see Cindy. Do we have anybody lined up to speak on anything other than the two that I just mentioned?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. I declare the public comments by the public closed. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have two appointments. AP 722, the appointment of Brianna Yancey to the Environmental Commission, and AP 2322, the appointment of Christopher Ledoux, the Alcohol Beverage Control Board.
Should we move them at the same time? Is that okay? We've been doing that, or would you like to do them individually?
So move.
Okay.
Second.
All right. All those in favor with a show of hands say aye. Aye. Not opposed, say no.
Sorry, Mr. A quick question.
Yes.
This is for all the appointments?
For the two appointments.
So Ms. Brianna Yancey has moved. That's why Environmental Matters took no action. So her application was withdrawn.
Oops.
Okay.
We'll still approve her.
Well, she's voted in.
Mr. City Attorney, what would you like us to do in that case?
Have to vote on the one that's available if you want to approve any of them.
So can we just go back to Mr. Ledoux? That's okay to just do it like that, Mr. City Attorney?
It is.
Okay, can I get a motion? A second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. We're now at the consent calendar, beginning with supplemental appropriation, SA 1522, general fund donation from Mr. David Nagy for $1,000.
Is there any objection to anything on the consent calendar?
Mr. Chair, I do have a question. Usually we have minutes from previous meetings on the consent calendar. I'm not seeing them.
I will.
Alderwoman Finlayson, there are no minutes.
I'm sorry?
There are no minutes per Regina.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Could I entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Second. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Gay.
I'm sorry, it's not intentional to wait until after, but because we're all here, you couldn't see my hand out there. As it relates to it says just fleet vehicles. What fleet vehicles?
We're not on that.
I'm sorry, I read that incorrectly. I see fuel for vehicles, but it says fleet at the beginning. Sorry about that. I thought it was purchase vehicle.
Mr. Mayor, we're on the consent calendar.
Yeah,
donation of $1,000, SA 1522.
Yeah, we're not there yet, Alderman Gay. We're coming up to that. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Buckley?
Aye.
Alderman Savage?
Aye.
Alderman Arnett?
Aye.
Alderwoman Tierney?
Aye.
Alderwoman O'Neill?
Aye.
Alderwoman Pendle Charles?
Aye.
Alderwoman Finlayson?
Aye.
Alderman Schandelmeyer?
Aye.
Alderman Gay?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next on the agenda.
Yes, sir. We're now on business and miscellaneous items, beginning with supplemental appropriation SA 1922, fleet operations revenue $60,000.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve SA 19-22?
So moved.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Alderman Gay?
I answered. I figured it out.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor with a show of hands, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, the next item is fund transfer, FT 522, general fleet, elections fleet and non-allocated, $120,000.
Is there a motion to approve FT 5-22? Can I get a motion? Motion, please. And a second, please.
Second.
Alderman Gay?
I was saying yes.
Oh, okay. Your hand is up. Thank you. All those in favor with a show of hands, say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next on the agenda.
Now in public hearings, the first item is 01222, special events.
Cindy, is there anyone signed up to speak on this?
No, sir, there is not.
Thank you, Deputy City Clerk. I declare the public hearing. Oh, is that a hand up still, Alderman Gay? I'm sorry. No, okay, thank you. I declare the public hearing on 0-12-22 closed. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next on the agenda.
And I just want to tell Felicia she can have dinner now. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, the next item, Mr. Mayor, is R1522, Anne Arundel County Coalition for Police Accountability Recommendations.
Thank you, Deputy City Clerk. Are there anyone signed up to speak?
No, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I think there's some confusion. I just received a text from someone who wanted to speak. Mr. Hatch.
Okay. Well, there's a protocol to speak, and I think he missed the deadline.
Alderwoman Finlayson, he was after the deadline.
I'm sorry, say that again. I didn't understand.
His request came in after this deadline. The deadline is 3 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
But please submit some written testimony. We would appreciate that, Mr. Hatch. Thank you. I declare the public hearing on R-15-22 closed. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next on the agenda.
Yes, sir. We're now on legislative actions, first reader. The first item is 01322, sidewalk cafe defined.
Is there a motion to adopt O-13-22 on first reader?
So moved.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favour? Is that a hand up? Sorry, Alderman Gay, you've got a hand up there. Maybe that's me. Sorry. Okay, I apologise. That was my hand. All those in favour with a show of hands, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Say no. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present them. Let's refer O-13-22 to Economic Matters Committee. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is 01422, debit card and credit card payments convenience fees.
Okay, can I get a motion to adopt O-14-22 on first reader?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All those in favour say aye with a show of hands. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. We would like to refer O-14-22 to the Finance Committee. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is R-1722, Annapolis Waterfront and Sailing Center.
Is there a motion to adopt R-17-22 on first reader?
So move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favour with a show of hands say aye.
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 Mr. Mayor, can I ask this be referred to Rules and City Government?
Yep, sure. And it also is going to the Maritime Advisory Board.
And Mr. Mayor, can I be added as a co-sponsor, please, Ms. Gaines?
Sure, thank you. Right, Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is R-1822, Director of Planning and Zoning, Michael Laplace.
Right, new person coming to the team via Princeton and Burlington. It's exciting. Is there a motion to adopt R-18-22 on first reader?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Third.
When does he start?
Got some work to do over there. Alderman Gay, while we're discussion.
Yeah, I had a chance to meet with Mr. Laplace. I thought he was great. He had a great background. We talked over our schedule a lot of time, and particularly about housing policy, and some of the initiatives that we have coming up. And he seems to be, at face value, supportive of those things. And he has experience. The community that he resides in has gone through what we're about to go through. And so that'll always be helpful. With that said, I'm also sad to see Mr. Malinoff go. This was my first time ever getting an opportunity to work with him because I wasn't here when he was in his former capacity. I hope that he comes back in some other capacity. He was great to work with, and so I hope he, comes back or sticks around in some way, shape, or form. But I look forward to working with Mr. Laplace.
Thank you. Alderman Savage.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I just wanted to just say congratulations and welcome to the team. We had a good conversation as well, and I also just want to thank Mike Malinoff for his your willingness to step in here as the acting director.
Thank you. Alderman Pendle-Charles and Alderman Finlayson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Laplace, and what struck me most of all was that it wasn't hardly any, if anything, that we talked about that he didn't have some experience with. To me, that was a clear sign of a person who's had a wide breadth of experience and educational background, which should bode our city extraordinarily well. And I agree, Mr. Malinoff, I was coming in when Mr. Malinoff was going out, but I've heard so many wonderful things about him. And so I too hope he can find a place, not the place, but a place to stick with us here in the city.
Thank you. Alderman Finlayson.
Yes, I could just say ditto. I just wanted to welcome Mr. Laplace to the city. And I couldn't agree more with, in our meeting, he expressed a great depth of knowledge about so many of the issues that are facing our city. And so I think he comes totally prepared for what we need. And so I was going to ask if he's going to have an opportunity to greet the Annapolis community tonight. I trust after we finish our comments, he will be. But I'll also take this moment to thank Mr. Malinoff. Mr. Malinoff served as our city administrator before we had a city manager, and then was our very first city manager. And so he has done a phenomenal job in the city for many, many years, and I hope he doesn't go far. Thank you.
Alderman Schandelmeyer.
I have a point of procedure question, actually. So for this appointment of Mr. Laplace as our new Director of Planning and Zoning, do we have plans to suspend the rules tonight and vote on him tonight? Or is this just, it goes through the regular process? Or is this like just a resolution saying the council supports the decision and he is just hired through the administration?
Second.
There's timing issues, so we don't need to suspend the rules. I think we're working on the time frame that he needs to move, unless Mr. City Manager says something else.
Yeah, I mean, if we could do it tonight, he's holding off on giving notice to his employer until the council. So he wants to allow us a certain amount of time after giving notice. So it would be great if we could do that tonight.
In that case, I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules and bring R 1822 onto second reader tonight.
Second.
All right, this needs 100%. All those, let's do a roll call, please, Cindy. Gotta get your microphone off, or we could do a show of hands.
Oh, we're still in discussion on first reader, so we have to vote on it on first reader.
But you have a motion to suspend. You have a motion to suspend the rules. So the rule to deal with even the first motion can be suspended if there's a second.
Okay.
Double suspended the rules.
Okay. So if that works, let's do a roll call, please.
Mr. Mayor, could you just ask a question?
Sure. Alderman Savage.
So I'm just trying to remember, has this gone out to the public yet in terms of in the newspapers in a kind of announcement?
Mr. City Manager?
Not that I'm aware of, other than the notice for this meeting that he was, he was up for confirmation.
Okay.
So no, the Capitol has not covered this that I'm aware of.
Okay. I mean, I think I'm okay with suspending the rules. I'm just saying that I think we should be aware that the public's not going to get a chance to, presumably, I guess they could have come at the beginning of the meeting. I mean, I did put this out to my constituents, didn't hear any concerns, but just putting that out there.
Thank you. Deputy City Clerk. Motion to suspend the rules. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mayor? Yeah. To address Alderman Savage's concern, wasn't there a public involvement in the search for this position, if I understand? I mean, that partially addressed his question. That
Mr. City Manager?
In like a public introduction or a public meeting where he was introduced?
Wasn't there a search? I thought there was a search mechanism for him that involved people. Were they committee members or?
So we did a national search for this position. We then shortlisted to about 8 or 9 of the most highly qualified candidates who were then interviewed by a panel that had outside individuals, including somebody from the Planning Commission on that panel.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, that panel. Were there outside the volunteers or were they all city volunteers?
Just the one from the Planning Commission was on. The rest were city. So there were a couple from planning and zoning, so people that would be subordinates, and then some directors that were involved as well.
Okay, that's important to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, let's give it another go. Deputy City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Buckley.
Aye.
Alderman Savage.
Aye.
Alderman Arnett.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tierney.
Aye.
Alderwoman O'Neill. Alderwoman O'Neill.
Aye.
Alderwoman Pendell Charles.
Aye.
Alderwoman Finlayson.
Aye.
Alderman Schandelmeyer.
Aye.
Alderman Gay.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, next step on this?
Well, he has to be introduced and then sworn in. We need a date for that.
All right.
Don't we vote on second?
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Yes, have we voted on first reader?
I
We have
thought
to vote for it on first reader first, I think, before we go to second reader, do we not?
I thought Mr. Lyles said that we could suspend it on both, but correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. City Attorney.
That was my recommendation, suspend all the rules to get it passed tonight. You don't really need for a resolution. You don't need 2 readers anyway for a resolution. So you suspended the rules to vote him in on tonight.
And I understand that. I guess my question was, but don't we still have to introduce it on first reader before we can vote for it on second reader? But yeah, you're the attorney, so I will yield to your recommendation.
My advice was you suspended the rules. Suspending the rules was superseding the motion that was on the floor. That was seconded, and you voted on that.
Thank you.
So yes. So now that the rules have been suspended, right? That's the vote we just took. Now it's the vote to vote on the nomination.
Okay, on second reader?
Yes.
Thank you. Could I get a motion for that, please?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Alderman Savage, more discussion?
Just I want to clarify for the public's that standpoint and to express gratitude to the administration that I think the administration, you did reach out to the entire council, and I think all of us, if not most of us, have spoken with the nominee and have had a chance to ask them questions and talk with them. And so, yeah, so I'm just wanted to make that known that we have had that opportunity, and thank you for that.
Thank you. Do I need to do a roll call on this one too, Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Deputy City Clerk?
Mayor Buckley.
Aye.
Alderman Savage.
Aye.
Alderman Arnett.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tierney.
Yes, game changer. I'm excited. That was an aye.
Aye. Sorry. I was so excited to say aye.
Alderwoman O'Neill.
Aye.
Alderwoman Pendell Charles.
Aye.
Alderwoman Finlayson.
Aye.
Alderman Schandelmeyer.
Aye.
Alderman Gay.
Aye.
All right, Mr. Laplace is here. You're coming in with a lot of love. Mr. Laplace, please come forward and say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for your kind words and your warm welcome. And I feel very fortunate to have been, being considered for such an important job in such a significant community. So thank you so much.
We're excited to get to work with you. Thank you so much. Round of applause, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we've outed you now. You have to do it. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is R1922 Water Service Agreement. First reader.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt R-19-22 on first reader?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor with a show of hands say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. Thank you. Can we refer O-19-22 to Environmental Matters Committee and the Finance Committee?
Mr. Mayor, I just have a quick question.
Alderman Gay.
When that happens, does the county pay to the city?
Mr. City Manager.
I'm sorry, I missed the question. Does the county,
It says,
what was the question?
Rising Water Service Agreement located in Anne Arundel County. This place is located in the county. So is a fee paid for the city for a water agreement?
So the customer pays for their water after the service provided. This county doesn't have water in this area, so they need to use the city's water, and they pay 3 times the rate that city residents pay for their water.
That's all you had to say.
Thank you. All those in favor with a show of hands say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Thank you. Let's send that to Environmental Matters Committee and the Finance Committee. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Next item on the agenda is R2022 Affordable Housing Development Spa Road Site.
Thank you. Could I get a motion to adopt R-20-22 on first reader?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Thank you. Alderman Gay has his hand up.
I'd like to have it sent to Housing and Human Welfare, 1, and 2. We've got a lot of emails about this from the task force and members alike who have worked on the housing recommendations for over 2 years. And so I expect this to change over the next couple of weeks to meet the needs that they've laid out. But I'd like you referred to the Housing and Human Welfare.
Thank you. All those in favor with a show of hands say aye.
Mr. Mayor?
I apologize, Alderman Pindell Charles. I didn't see your hand up.
That's okay. Just asking Ms. Gaines to add me as a co-sponsor, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor with a show of hands say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item agenda.
Next item on the agenda is R2222 Pilot Program to Study Commercial Outdoor Dining in Privately Owned Parking Lot.
Is there a motion to adopt R-22-22 on first reader?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Of hands, aye. Opposed, say no. Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Next item is legislative actions on second reader, beginning with O1022, peddlers, hawkers, and itinerant merchants, time restrictions.
Is there a motion to adopt O-10-22 on second reader?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those, Alderman Shannemeyer?
I think it's going to pass regardless of my praise on this, but I do think this is a really good idea. It adds some flexibility for a really nice, innovative way to provide services for the community. So,
thank you. All those in favor with show of hands say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt O-10-22 on third reader?
So move.
Second.
Second. Deputy City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Buckley?
Aye.
Alderman Savage? Alderman
Aye.
Savage? Alderman Arnett?
Aye.
Alderwoman Tierney?
Aye.
Alderwoman O'Neill?
Aye.
Alderwoman Pendle Charles.
Aye.
Alderwoman Finlayson.
Aye.
Alderman Chandelmeyer.
Aye.
Alderman Gay.
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next on the agenda.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is R 1322, Housing Authority of the City of Annapolis Project Prioritization.
Is there a motion to adopt R-13-22 on second reader?
So move.
Second.
Great. Alderman Gay has his hand up.
Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to share with the council the discussion that we had in our Housing and Human Welfare meeting as it relates to 2, line 13 and line 14 in the whereas clause. It says, whereas in accordance with paragraph 26 and 27 of the consent decree, city staff is committed to hold weekly meetings internally to make sure that review of HACA redevelopment projects are expedited or is expedited, and also continues to hold quarterly meetings with HACA to discuss the state's HACA redevelopment. So what we attempted to amend and include, but we were told that we were not able to amend the consent decree, even though I argued that we were not amending the consent decree, we were amending the resolution. But the city attorney argued that they copied the verbiage from the consent decree. So in a way, you were amending the consent decree. My problem with this is that after the last meeting that we had with HACA, Mr. City Attorney, I see your head.
We weren't arguing that you were amending the consent decree, sir. We just said we were taking it right out of the consent decree in order to be to align with the consent decree.
I thought that
you can do whatever you want to do.
Okay, well, we didn't make the amendment because we were, or at least the chair was under the impression that we couldn't make the amendment. If we could put the amendment on the floor tonight, then I would like to include here because what happened previously is that the council was not kept abreast, or in particular the Housing and Human Welfare Commission, on the actions that we're taking. Not saying that we have to be in the meetings instructing staff, but we should be a part of those meetings so that 6 months doesn't go by and then we get a report on what's happened. And so I added the amendment that they would report back to the Housing and Human Welfare Committee as well.
Yep, that's fine. It's fine by me.
Thank you. So are you moving that amendment, Alderman Gay?
I will, and I appreciate the city attorney for clarifying that. And if I don't, again, the intent is not for us to instruct staff, but more so just be kept up to speed, so that if we really do have to come in with policy, like myself and Alderman Arnett have done previously to assist, we can do so.
Thank you.
I'll second his amendment.
I get a second. Thank you. I saw Alderman Arnett's hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Savage.
I'm not sure how we amend a whereas clause. The whereas clause is not actionable. That is simply setting context for the resolution itself. It would seem to me the only thing that would be amendable would be in the now therefore clause. So if I'm wrong, Mr. City Attorney, please advise, but if there's to be an amendment to this resolution, it would seem that has any impact, it would be in the therefore clause.
Mr. City Attorney.
Yes, that's right. But it's Alderman Gay's amendment, so he has to dictate to us what he wants.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, can I, Mr. Mayor?
Can we vote it down and start again?
Why?
Well, you don't have a motion yet. You've got a motion.
I thought I had a motion and a second.
Well, you have a motion and a second to amend, but we're not clear on the wording and where it's going to go in the resolution.
Okay, so let's get the wording straight now. Alderman Gay, or can you help Alderman Gay get it to?
Yeah, so I'm looking at page 2, lines 14. And so accordance with paragraphs 26 and 27 of the consent decree, city staff is committed to hold weekly meetings and trying to make sure that the review of redevelopment projects is expedited So I'm guessing, do we include that and then now therefore be resolved by the City of Annapolis? City of Annapolis' redevelopment projects in accordance with the consent decree and the terms of the resolution, and will we just add an and randomly there like that? Would that make sense, Mr. Attorney, Mr. City Attorney?
You're on mute, sorry. You're on mute, Mr. City Attorney.
Yes, I'm taking a look at it right now, trying to see where it is. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so what we will do is in line, in line 13, after the word resolution, we'll just add a provision that says, and brief Housing and Human Welfare Committee regularly, or do you want a particular time frame to be brief, sir?
If possible,
monthly, quarterly.
I'd like to stay in compliance with the whereas on the second page. They have it laid out as weekly. Well, I guess we don't want to do weekly. I guess we'd be monthly because at Housing and Human Welfare, I'm sorry, yeah.
But wouldn't that be in the therefore clause? The therefore is the action. Amending the whereas clause is just amending what's coming straight out of the
You just said that he was
consent decree. I don't think we can do that.
This on page 2, the last sentence of the
Page three.
Page 3, I'm sorry. After the word resolution, we will add and brief Housing and Human Welfare Committee monthly on any projects that are planned, something like that.
I would second that motion.
Okay,
I would second it, but it's not grammatically correct. Sorry.
Oh boy, are we in trouble.
We have an action. What is it we're desiring to do? It starts, we're desired to prioritize, and then you're desiring to have regular updates. Isn't that what you're trying to get to? So after the resolution, you've got to have a verb that is parallel to that.
Or just start a new sentence, right?
Or just start
just add a new sentence after that.
Okay, so the amendment should be, gosh, but now I feel like I'm in class. The amendment should be
always
that we are after resolution adding and a monthly briefing to the Housing and Human Welfare Committee.
Or don't add the and just say a monthly briefing will be provided to the committee.
Awesome.
I second Mr. Gerald's motion.
Okay, we've got a first and a second, and I see Alderman Savage's hand up.
Not anymore. Thank you.
Okay. Alderman Pindell Charles's hand is up.
Yes. Ms. Gaines, you can add me as a co-sponsor, please.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And also thank you, Mr. City Attorney, for fixing that for me. Thank you, because I was really confused. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend. All those in favor with a show of hands, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. So is there a motion to adopt on second reader the amendments?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor with a show of hands, say aye.
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 Second reader, I apologize. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Buckley,
Aye.
Alderman Savage,
Aye.
Alderman Arnett,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tierney,
Aye.
Alderwoman O'Neill.
Aye.
Alderwoman Pendle Charles.
Aye.
Alderwoman Finlayson.
Aye.
Alderman Shandemeyer.
Aye.
Alderman Gay. Alderman Gay.
Could you? Aye.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Next item is R 1422, city sponsored special events in fiscal year 2022 amended.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt R-14-22 on second reader?
So moved.
Can I get a
Second.
See no hands up. Madam,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to be added as a sponsor.
of course. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Buckley.
Aye.
Alderman Savage.
Aye.
Alderman Arnett.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tierney.
Aye.
Alderwoman O'Neill.
Aye.
Alderwoman Pendle Charles.
Aye.
Alderwoman Finlayson.
Aye.
Alderman Shandemeyer.
Aye.
Alderman Gay.
Aye.
Alrighty.
All right.
Did you hear that, Felicia?
Mr. City Attorney, please present the next item on the agenda.
Mayor, the agenda is completed.
All right. And anything else for good order? Alderman Arnett.
I'm glad we finished early tonight because I'm sure we won't at the next city council meeting. Depending upon the length of the mayor's state of the city message.
I'm going for 1 hour.
Good.
Trying to beat the record. Anything
What
else?
time you?
Alderman Gay.
Yes, also let the public know we only voted on the one on first reader because I see already the outdoor dining, that's again customary to vote for stuff on first reader like that. That doesn't mean it goes into effect tomorrow. So it's even sent to committee. So yeah, there's plenty of time to get involved with that, people.
All right, anything else? Okay, I would also say if we could just put some thoughts and prayers out for Mitchell. She's had to go rush to California to make sure that her daughter is okay. So if we could all just think about her and all hope for the best. Okay. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.